Jackie, that intro.
I know, it makes me happy. Does it make you happy?
It does. It is the most exciting, lit intro this side of the Mississippi. I'll go on record to say that, Jackie.
Well, it just makes me happy because it portrays this city so well.
It does. Yeah. Welcome to the social space.
Yes.
I'm Eric Crossland, and sitting across from me, some call her the Wonder of Windthorst.
Oh, well, I've never been called that I know of.
I just called it to you right now. Jackie Hager, how you doing, Jackie?
Hello, I am a Windthorst girl, no doubt about it, but I spend as much time in Wichita Falls.
Oh, you really do.
Yeah.
But a lot of what's going on in Windthorst and whatnot is the focus of today's show. We have a third host, Jackie, that will be sitting next to us once things get back to normal, as everyone's been saying.
Yes.
His name is Andrew Bell. Why don't we bring him and our three guests on right now?
Great.
They're going to join us via Zoom. Oh, who would have thought invest in Zoom before all this started?
No kidding. No kidding.
All right, Jackie, do you want to give us the rundown this time?
I would
since
love
you know everyone
to.
So well?
We've got three amazing guests today. I'm real excited about tonight's show. So we have Marty Mckenzie, who is VP of Industry and Image Relations at Dairy Max, and you'll understand why he's real important to us here shortly.
He's in an orange box.
He is. And then we have a retired police officer, city councilman, former mayor, dear friend, and now he is with the Shepherd Military Affairs Committee, better known as SMAC, Glen Barham.
Smack Daddy.
Smack.
He's your Smack
There
Daddy.
we go.
He's laying the smack down.
And then we have co-owner of Textine Dairy in Windthorst, Texas. That would be my brother, Chad Steinberger. We're glad you're here. He's out.
This is your real life brother.
It is
You grew up with this guy.
I did grow up with this guy.
Oh, we got to get some
I'm
dirt,
afraid so,
Chad.
yes, yeah.
He's a keeper. And then, of course, right below him is the famous from the office, Hager Communications, and our co-host, Andrew Bell.
Yeah, and it happens to be random as how they call in. So we got Andrew at the bottom today. That's just a random draw.
Amen.
He got here last.
Amen.
All right, well, Jackie, we're starting out. We're in this setup while social distancing is happening. Jackie and I are 8 feet away from each other, so we got people calling in Zoom. We're going to talk to Glen first. Glen, for those people like myself who've never heard the acronym but have maybe heard of the organization, exactly what is SMAC?
Well, SMAC is the Shepherd Military Affairs Committee. Back in 2005, SMAC was established as a result of a base realignment and closure round where Shepherd Air Force Base lost the medical training wing. 2,000 people moved to San Antonio over about a 5-year time span. There's about a $48 million economic loss to the Wichita Falls, Wichita County area. Wow. It impacted the community pretty severely, so community leaders got together and come up with the Shepherd Military Affairs Committee, of which I am now the president.
Mr. Barham, I know that y'all have a capital campaign ramping up. Where does that money go, and who does it support?
Well, the capital campaign, Andrew, it's usually a 3-year campaign. That money is used to fund our operations along with funding that we receive from the City of Wichita Falls, Burkman Iowa Park, as well as Wichita County. With that money, we advocate for Shepherd. We're a voice for the community, between the community and to Shepherd. And we work closely with leaders and decision makers that play a key role in maintaining Shepherd's current missions. We also work to pursue new missions for Shepherd. And as I mentioned, we're funded by those governmental entities. We also have further financial support that comes from the capital campaign that you mentioned. We just kicked that off in early March before all of this COVID-19 craziness started. And it has impacted our funding levels. The funding is coming in at a much slower rate than it did this time 3 years ago. And I fully understand that.
Sure.
And I don't expect it to pick up until we get somewhat back to normal.
I don't think we realize just how blessed Wichita Falls is to have Shepherd Air Force Base. And, while you may not drive by it every day, I see those T-38s flying, and it always makes me stop. Or I'm walking to my car out of the office, and I hear it. Yeah. And it just makes you want to stop and be so grateful for the impact Shepherd Air Force Base gives to this city. Glenn, I think SMAC is so important. It is that conduit between the public of Wichita Falls, all of the citizens, and Shepherd. If any one of our citizens wanted to help financially, whether it was just $25 or whatever, how do they step up to be able to help you?
Well, they can, Jackie, they can turn to our webpage, smacntx.org, and there's a PayPal link there on the webpage to where they can make donations. You know, it's amazing the community support that Shepherd Air Force Base has. The people of this community have stepped up for years, and they continue to do so through this crisis. And you know, we look forward to things getting back to normal so that we can instead of having to talk to Shepherd like we're doing here tonight, talk to Shepherd face to face. And we also look forward, you know, we advocate for Shepherd by going to Washington, D.C. a couple of times a year to talk to leaders at the Pentagon. We also talk to our congressional delegation quite a bit. And we visit those folks in D.C. to educate them on Shepherd's needs and some of their concerns. We do that at the state level as well. When the legislature's in session in Austin, we've gone to Austin on numerous occasions in support of various, well, not support necessarily, but to educate legislatures what Shepherd's concerns are with any type of legislation that may be impacting their organization.
I mean, Glenn, thank you so much for, you know, really educating us to what SMAC is, number one, and representing Wichita Falls, and kind of giving us a little bit of feedback on how we can get involved and give back to Shepherd. So next time you see those T-38s flying over, or you drive by the base, you know, just remember how blessed we are in Wichita Falls.
That's right, and blessed to have Glen Barham. I mean, how much has he done? He's been a mayor, he's been a police officer. Hey, you remember that thing you used to, the videotape thing you used to record confessions with that you gave to us, Glenn? I still have that thing. It's pretty cool.
Okay, I want to see that.
Hey, well, listen, that's all the time we got for this first segment. We are going to take a commercial break. You're going to see some cuteness. Please send us your videos, you know, 15 seconds right here at hello@Team Hager, and you can see those played on either side of the commercial breaks. When we come back, we will be talking with Marty Mckenzie. And that's going to be it's all about the dairy.
Yes.
A lot of people might not know how much you're involved in the dairy farming business. Jackie will get into all of that when we come back with the social space.
We are actually constructing face covers for all DoD and civilian personnel on Shepherd Air Force Base to combat COVID-19. We actually get airmen in from other squadrons to come help us because there are so many masks that are needed for everyone on base. So whenever these new airmen come in, we actually have to train them completely on how to use a sewing machine. We are hoping that while they're here, we're able to tell them and let them know that they're doing something that's bigger than themselves. They're doing something that is so beneficial to everybody across Shepherd Air Force Base.
We were used to, you know, just sewing wheel covers and stuff easy like that, and then the corona broke out, and they're like, well, we have an idea of making face covers for, you know, the base and other people. And so it started yesterday, and so far it's went pretty good. I love it, just knowing I'm doing something great, because you know sometimes it gets boring having the old regular face covers, but you know, when you get a whole bunch of people to volunteer and help to make, you know, covers for everyone on base, it just seems like you're doing a good deed, and there's nothing better than that.
I actually came here to be an ammo troop. I did munitions training been here for about 2 months. I finished my schooling, and now I'm here doing details for a little bit before I get my next duty station. That makes me feel great because it's not only preventing the flow of new troops coming in, it's allowing us to get people to come in and then go out and then keep them healthy as well.
Never once did I picture that it was going to be like this. As a relatively new instructor, I thought that my focus was going to be on, training and instructing, but I'm very thankful that I was able to be a part of something this big for the entire Sheppard Air Force Base.
Receive 0% for 84 months and no payments for 120 days on select models. With approved credit through GM Financial, call today and we can deliver to you.
The commitment at 4 Stars Auto Ranch. Experience it.
We grew up here.
Raise our families here.
Grew our business here.
We've been here during hard times.
And the fun times.
And as we look to the future,
one thing is for sure. We are still together while apart.
Hey, welcome back to the social space. I am Eric Crossland. That there is Jackie Hager pouring the milk.
Pouring the milk.
If you've just now joining us, you missed former Mayor Glen Barham telling us all about smack, talking a bunch of smack. And now, Jackie, go ahead and tell us about our next guest and what does it have to do with milk?
It does.
Take a guess here.
First of all, I am a dairy farmer's daughter, and I am a dairy farmer's wife.
There's jokes about that.
And I make that commute to Wichita Falls every single morning. So I wake up out in the beautiful Windthorst, Texas area, where there's good old German sausage and lots of milk.
You brought some sausage to work today.
I did. I brought some sausage for the team. But I'm excited about our next guest. This is Marty Mckenzie. He is Vice President of Industry Image and Relations at Dairy Max. And Marty, I'm so excited you're joining us today. I want to just we're diving in, okay? I can tell you the most often asked question I'm getting on my social media and face-to-face is the dumping of the milk, especially in the Wisconsin area, as we're navigating what's going on in the country. Can you give us some information on A, why that is happening, B, why are the shelves sometimes empty of milk, and let us know what's going on in the dairy industry?
Sure, Jackie. These are unprecedented times, and certainly none of us have experienced what we're experiencing now, and it's really difficult for all of us, and I want to acknowledge that first and foremost. The milk disposal that's taking place, I think, really is the result of a couple of factors, and first, obviously, it's the situation we're in with COVID-19 and a lot of shelter-in-place orders, as well as not having the opportunity to go to restaurants, for schools to be in session. All of those things contribute significantly to some of the supply chain issues that we're seeing right now. The milk disposal is a temporary issue. I mean, we are very efficient in the dairy industry from Chad and every other dairy farmer's farm. The efficiency there at the farm level moves up the chain to the processing part of the equation as well. And a significant part of our dairy production goes to, not just dairy products that are sold at the grocery store in 8-ounce packages or half gallons or gallon jugs. Sometimes those products are packaged in much larger containers for use in food service and at restaurants. And when we lose the opportunity to market those products in those larger containers, our processing lines just aren't equipped to immediately convert over to packaging for families and for sale at grocery stores or the retail level. So we're still making cheese, we're still making powder and butter and all of those products, but there is a limit on what we can get processed and packaged when we're having to convert as quickly as we've had to convert. Now, this situation is getting better every day. Our processors are working tirelessly to make sure that as little milk as possible is disposed of. And I think Chad can probably, and other dairymen can speak to this as well. This is the springtime. We have green grass, we have beautiful weather, and cows are putting every ounce of their energy to making milk. They're not having to keep themselves warm because it's a little chilly outside. They're not having to cool themselves because it's hot in summertime. This is the ideal time for a cow to be making milk. So we have a little bit of an increase during the springtime in milk production as well. So it's kind of a double whammy as it relates to those things. The second part of your question, as far as the limiting goes, it does go back to the supply chain issue, and unfortunately there's not a lot that we can do with decisions that are made at the store level. We certainly know that there's not a shortage of milk or dairy products. It is oftentimes just the issue of getting those products again through the processing line and distributed as efficiently as we would like to. And again, that is improving every day. We have, as an organization, have worked to have conversations with grocery stores and retail managers there at the local levels to encourage them to, lift those limits and make sure that people are able to buy and purchase as many dairy products as they need for their family. And again, that's kind of what I think some of the frustration is, particularly in agriculture and with dairy farming, is the fact that we know there's plenty of milk, and there's nothing more disheartening than to see the fruits of your labor, the thing that you are most passionate about, be wasted and not utilized like it needs to be.
Mr. McKinzie, thanks for joining us. What kind of positive things is Dairy Max doing during this time?
Andrew, that's a great question, and I think we're seeing an unprecedented need with the situation with our economy and jobs and unemployment. We've had an opportunity to bring together not only our dairy farmers and co-ops in providing milk, but working with our processors in trying to get more dairy foods available to food banks, and that has been very successful initiative. I think just within the last few weeks, we've had the opportunity to get more than 60,000 gallons of milk to food banks throughout our region. And Dairy Max serves about 8 states. So, it sounds like a lot of milk, and it is. But when you serve the population that we do in our 8 states, it certainly is going to be needed, it appears, for the foreseeable future. And we're grateful for the dairy farmers and the processors and the others that we're working with to allow for that to happen. Additionally, with schools, we're seeing a lot of schools out of session, and with that being the case, a lot of children are in need of getting proper nutrition. So a lot of our school staff is working to ensure that meals are being provided to those children that aren't getting the nutrition they would have otherwise got in school. So there's an opportunity here that we're finding where sometimes these school districts are maybe lacking in the equipment that they need in order to serve remotely or serve in the manner outside of the school building that they're being forced to. So through Fuel Up to Play 60 and our work with the Gen Youth organization, grants are being provided throughout the region that school districts can apply for. They can receive up to $3,000 to go toward either mobile coolers or equipment or sanitation items that would help ensure that these meals are being provided.
Whew. Hey, thank you, man, Marty. We've got to move it along here, guys. Appreciate you. When we come back, we're going to be talking to your very own brother. All that when we come back with the Social Space.
This girl is on fire. This girl is on fire. She's walking on fire. This girl is on fire.
on call 24/7. We're the guys you don't think about until you have a problem. We are James Lane Air Conditioning and Plumbing. The leaking faucet, the broken AC, the busted pipe, yeah, that was fun. Anywhere the job calls us is where we'll be. James Lane Air Conditioning and Plumbing.
You see, when a person from our community gets injured in an accident, there's an insurance company based far away whose job is to minimize your losses in order to maximize their profits and executive bonuses. If you or someone you know in our community is injured in an accident, it's our job to help. And let's just say we take it seriously.
The Altman Legal Group has been based right here in our community for over 40 years. Fighting for folks injured in our community is all we do, and we are proud of what we do. And for us, it's serious.
Y'all ready to go outside? You got your coats on? Here we go hit the snow. Okay, all right. Oh boy, it's...
Hey, how about that, Jackie? Those were commercials.
Yeah.
We're gonna have a little milk here.
Have a little
We're
milk.
trying to help out, man. I love milk. I seriously do. I go through a gallon myself a week.
Yeah.
So I'm doing my part, guys.
Yeah.
All right, up third, and finally, Chad Steinberger. Jackie, who's this guy?
Who is this guy? This guy's my brother. He is co-owner with my dad, Robert Steinberger of Techstein Dairy in Windthorst, just down the road. And it was important for me for us to discuss the dairy industry, just as though our hearts are with the beef cattle industry and the oil industry after what's happened this week with the oil industry. You know, North Texas, this is our heritage, oil, cattle, dairy. That's important to us. But Chad, I'm so excited to have you. You know, I remember Dad telling me last week, you know, he's been milking cows for 70 plus years. Dumping a tank of milk is something no dairy farmer wants to do. So our fingers are crossed that us in North Texas, we're good there. But Chad, what are you guys doing at Techstein Dairy to hunker down to weather this storm through this COVID-19?
Well, Jackie, you know, it's not just dairy, it's every industry is feeling the stress of what's going on right now. And while we've had to deal with some tough things in the past, this is just unprecedented. And some of the things that not only me, but all dairymen across the United States are doing, you know, we're eliminating any unnecessary purchases or expenses as best we can. We're here in Windthorst, we're trying to rely on feeds and products and services that are produced here, either ourselves or produced here locally. And that helps not only ourselves, but it helps our local economy. Something all dairies will be doing is reducing herd sizes by selling some animals that are marginally profitable. And while we don't like to do that, we don't like to sell animals, sometimes it's necessary. So those animals will be leaving the herd. We'll take advantage of some of the government assistance that's going to happen. It's going to happen in all facets of the United States, and it's happening in agriculture too. So your dairyman's going to be taking advantage of those if they become available. And it's something that Marty talked about earlier. We're going to spread the word. We're going to advertise. We're going to try to promote dairy. The more product that we can push and sell, and that helps us tremendously. So advertising would be something that would help us get through these times as well.
Mr. Steinberger, I've worked with your sister for 7 years now, and have heard a lot of dairy stories. I have 3 little girls of my own, and there's not a morning that doesn't go by that one of them doesn't want chocolate milk or want regular milk. And so it's nice to see a face behind the product that's so used in our households today. And I just really want to say thank you, and thank you for what you do, and to tell the community to get out and support those dairy farmers and support the industry that they're in. So I just wanted to say thank you, Chad.
You know, Chad, I remember Dad coming in the back door. We live across the street from him during the drought, and we would shed tears during the drought, thinking we can get through this. No one even saw this coming. So I'm with you, Andrew. I commend the oil field workers. I commend the cattle people. I my heart, you know, just lies so heavy with the dairy industry and what's going on, and every industry, the restaurant industry, any service industry. You know, we're going to get through this, and the stories that we will tell when this is over, we'll pass on to our children and our grandchildren. And but it means the world to me to not only, Chad, to have you on, but to have the dairy industry represented, to represent Sheppard Air Force Base today, and to just maybe bring some knowledge to the listener on some data and some things they didn't know.
Yeah. Couldn't have said it better myself, Jackie. You know, it's been such a Texas show, like you say.
Yeah.
We got our Sheppard on. We've got dairy and beef are so important to Texas, and so important to you. And I'm glad it's a special episode, and I'm glad we got to talk about all this stuff. And I really thank you guys for coming on. We appreciate your knowledge. And we think we know who's on the next show, Jackie. I think we're going to have a single. I'm not a single mom. Ooh, Yvonne. We're going to have a stay-at-home. A mom that's now having to teach her kids. How does that happen? You got to learn how to be a teacher now. We're having a principal, a superintendent from Burke Burnett on.
Yeah, next week is all about education.
Yeah.
So how does a mom who works full-time all of a sudden adds the word teacher to her daily duties?
You said it so much better than I did.
And how are the schools navigating this with their teachers and the students? So it's going to be a great show next week.
Oh, so great. All right, thank you so much. Once again, if you want to send us your videos of anything cute going on, hit us up at hello@teamhager.com. Send us your kids, your shout out to your nonprofit, your military, or your sons overseas you want to say shout out, a cute puppy, all of that stuff. We'll take it, Jackie. All right, we'll see you next week. Thank you so much. Thanks, guys. We appreciate it.
Yay.
Welcome.